Hello, I am the ambassador of Kaipeng Ding Ding. Changzhou Kaipeng Hydro Equipment was established in 1986. The registered capital is 50 million RMB and covering an area of over 70,000 square meters. Our company is a professional manufacturer of KT brand radiators and special vehicle accessories. Safe transport is an important responsibility for road transport drivers to society. Road transport drivers must standardize their operational behavior to eliminate hidden risks. Therefore, I would like to introduce to you the standardized operation of the bottom loading and unloading process, and explain the working principle as well as internal structure of each component. Bottom loading. Open the vehicle protection box. Pull out the static grounding wire coil clamp, and reliably ground it. The coil can import the static electricity generated during loading into the ground to prevent electrostatic accidents. Remove the protective cover of the anti-overflow socket, and connect the anti-overflow and anti-static controller of the oil depot to the anti-overflow socket on the tanker. Open the main switch of the air control valve and supply air to the pneumatic interlocking valve. Open the dust cover of the oil and gas recovery joint. Secure the connection between the oil depot and the vehicle's oil and gas recovery system. At this time, the valve disc of the vapor recovery valve joint is pushed up. At the same time, the air control interlock valve is pressed, and the edge vent valve is closed. Open the dust cover of the API valve. Connect the loading system of the oil depot to the API valve. Turn the handle of the oil depot joint counterclockwise, and at this time, the API valve disc is pushed open. Turn on the air control valve compartment switch, and at this time, the vapor recovery valve and emergency shutoff valve will open. Start loading. The oil enters the pipeline through API valve and enters the tank after passing through the emergency shutoff valve. During loading, accompanied by an increase in liquid level, the oil and gas in the tank enter the oil and gas recovery pipeline through the vapor recovery valve, recycled to the oil depot through the oil and gas recovery joint. The oil and gas recovery system ensures a fully enclosed loading of oil, which can recover the volatile oil and gas during oil loading, avoiding accidents and pollution caused by oil and gas leakage. It includes vapor recovery valve, side plate ventilation valve, oil and gas recovery joint, pneumatic interlocking valve, and ventilation reducing joint. When the liquid level inside the tank rises to the contact point of the anti-overflow probe rod, the probe signal will be interrupted, and the refueling control system automatically stops loading. Close the air control valve switch so that the vapor recovery valve and the emergency shutoff valve are closed at the same time. Detaching the oil and gas recovery system in the oil depot. Turn the handle of the oil depot connector clockwise. Close the API valve, remove the connector, and cover the vapor recovery valve and close the dust cover of the API valve. In daily use, the vapor recovery valve joint and the dust cover of the API valve must be covered. The dust cover provides dust protection for the valve body and also has sealing function. All sealing rings in the vapor recovery valve, API valve, and emergency shutoff valve are dynamic seals and belong to vulnerable parts. It is recommended to replace it every 6 months. Remove the anti-overflow and anti-static controller and cover the anti-overflow socket protective cover. Take back the static clamp and lock the protective box. Forgot to turn off the emergency shutoff valve. Thanks to the emergency shutoff valve alarm, the emergency shutoff valve alarm can give an alarm prompt and automatically close the emergency shutoff valve at the same time. According to national standards, tank trucks need to be equipped with emergency shutoff valve alarms to break down safety hazards. The manhole cover is installed on the top of the oil tank truck body and has built-in breathing and emergency exhaust functions. There are 3 auxiliary holes on the large cover. It includes vapor recovery valve, anti-overflow probe, external breathing valve or oil scale can be installed on it. The manhole cover is designed with 1-2 built-in breathing valves on the small cover. The built-in breathing valve ensures that the tank truck maintains a stable balance between the internal and external pressure during transportation. The pressure value is set to positive pressure of 6 kPa 12 kPa, and negative pressure of 2 kPa for kPa. It has an anti-spill design to keep the tanker sealed during accidents. When the tank pressure reaches 21 kilopascals to 35 kilopascals, the manhole cover can automatically release pressure to prevent accidents. Transporting oil materials. Unloading. Open the protection box, pull out the grounding wire clamp, and ground securely. Remove the anti-overflow socket protective cover. Connect the anti-overflow and anti-static controller of the gas station to the anti-overflow socket on the tank truck. Remove the dust cover of the oil discharge valve. Connect the oil discharge reducer joint to the oil discharge valve. Connect the fuel delivery system of the gas station to the vehicle oil discharge reducer joint. Discharge material. Open the oil discharge valve handle to open the oil discharge valve disc. Open the main switch of air control valve switch, so that the vapor recovery valve and emergency shutoff valve open. Air enters the tank body through the edge plate ventilation valve and the vapor recovery valve. At the same time, the oil enters the gas station through the emergency cutoff valve and the oil discharge valve. Discharge completed. Turn off the compartment control switch for the emergency shutoff valve to close both the vapor recovery valve and the emergency shutoff valve. Turn off the main pneumatic switch. Close the oil discharge valve API valve. Disconnect oil discharge reducer. Remove the anti-overflow and anti-static controller, and cover the overflow socket protection cover. Take back the clamp and lock the protective box. In general, hand-operated valves are installed at the rear or on both sides of the vehicle, when encountering special circumstances during loading and unloading. Emergency closing valve components by hand-operated valve main control pneumatic switch. Through my introduction, I'm sure that a smart person like you has already got it. At Kaipeng, we uphold the philosophy of being a good person first, then doing good work, following the strategic direction of KT to the world, and the world to KT. We move forward with integrity and responsibility, forging ahead with determination.